All right, this is Math 209, Week 4, Section 10.3. We're reviewing some concepts with square roots. So here the idea is, does root 2 or square root 2 times square root 3 equal the square root of 6? So some rules that you're going to have to learn, and in this case, I think that the easiest thing is it's a rule. There's no way for me to explain it. The answer is yes. Yes, they do. It does equal square root of 6. Now, so basically any time you have a square root of something, let's say 5 times the square root of anything else, let's say 3, you can multiply those and get the square root of whatever that product is. Now, here's the rule. The little number here has to be the same. So because there's no number here, that means they're really a 2, and that means this is still a 2. All right, that's the big rule here. Now, if you had like the third root of 7 times the second root of 2, you cannot multiply these. So you cannot multiply because you need to have the same square root, same root. In this case, it was 2. Down here, you cannot multiply them because they're not the same root. Well, now that we know the rule, so if you've got the third root of A times the third root of B, we know that's going to equal the third root of A times B, AB. So that's this answer down here. Now the thing is, this also means you could do it in reverse if you wanted to. Like if you had, let's see, the third root of 24, you can change this to the third root of 8 times 4, which becomes the third root of 8 times the third root of 4, if you want. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, that's because, that's my son, happy as all heck. Why would you want to do that? Well, because the third root of 8 is equal to 2. So this would be the third 2 times the third root of 4. All right, and that's actually a simplifying. So that's why it's important to know this rule, is because really we're going to do it in reverse more often than anything. All right, so the definition here is when you have a division, nth root of A over the nth root of B, it means you can combine them into a single nth root of A over B. Okay, that's just the rule you've got to memorize, or at least write it down, because of course our tests are going to be open notes. The important thing of this is really largely because we're going to be using it in reverse, I think. So for example, if we're going to do the third root of 125 over 8, well, that means it's the third root of 125 over the third root of 8, and that equals 5 over 2. All right, so we want to know this rule largely because we're going to actually do it in the reverse. We're going to take a big fraction and separate it into 2 small square roots, or roots. In this case, it's third roots. And then you get your answer. So just to be clear, the answer in this case is the nth root of, oops, no, not that one. The nth root of A over B. So here, does the square root of 98 equal the square root of 49 plus the square root of 49? The answer is, quite frankly, it's just a simple no. And why is that? Well, that's because the square root of 98 is really the square root of 2 times 49. So if we wanted to break it up or expand it in some way, it would actually be the square root of 2 times the square root of 49. It's not going to be this. So that is totally against the rules. And right here is the third root, also known as the cube root. Is the cube root of 3 equal to 1? Well, the cube root of 3 means, what? times what equals 3. And of course, it has to be the same number in all three cases. And if they're asking, is it equal to 1, all you have to do is put in 1. And last I checked, 1 times 1 times 1 is equal to 1, not 3. So the answer is definitely no.